Karoline Leavitt, who is the new press secretary, and something that she said they're implementing in this administration.
We also, again, encourage anybody in this country, whether you are a TikTok content creator, a blogger, a podcaster, if you are producing legitimate news content, no matter the medium, you will be allowed to apply for press credentials to this White House. And as I said earlier, our new media website is whitehouse.gov/new media. And so we encourage people to apply. Again, as long as you are creating news-related content of the day and you're a legitimate independent journalist, you're welcome to cover this White House.
Adler.
And that is my challenge.
Interesting.
Can Alt Adler get in that press corps? And when Karoline looks around, goes, yes, sir. And you say, yes, I'm Alt Adler with the Rick Burgess show.
Yes.
Oh, please.
And you ask the question.
You're in.
I did hear some sticking points that she had. It said legitimate news content.
Well, this is what are we doing now? We're playing her.
You do legitimate news content.
Do I?
The show does, yeah. You would represent the show.
Define
I feel
legitimate.
like
Legit, yeah. How legitimate does it have to be? Is my question.
Oh,
I don't wanna
look
get
at
shot
us.
down.
We're breaking down.
What are we doing?
We're journalists. Everybody knows that.
We're talking about the news of the day right now.
We're doing
right
it.
now.
Okay. Okay, some people are saying if we get in and we become part of the press corps with the Trump administration, people want Gary as well. We can't just keep adding people. Hey, can I ask you something, Karoline? Are you trying to tell America that maybe we can have something? So here's what she basically says. Here she is, this press secretary. It didn't take long for her to establish how it was going to go. So here she is talking about the Trump administration. They're now the ones that have been put into power by the people, and here's what's taking place. Here she is.
It's an honor to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new faces. And President Trump is back, and the golden age of America has most definitely begun.
Well, there we go. Hey, I mean, maybe we can have something. So we will see. So she didn't take long either to establish that she was going to be no nonsense, which that should, if you're going to be press secretary for the Trump administration, especially 2.0, we're going to just say things as they are. You've seen J.D. Vance do the same thing. The famous, is it frankly, Margaret, I don't care? Is that this thing everybody keeps talking about now?
I don't care, Margaret.
I don't care, Margaret, or whatever. I think I'm combining Going with the Wind.
Frankly, I don't give a darn, Margaret.
Frankly, Margaret.
I couldn't give a...
But anyway, here she is when she's, just listen to the question about how many people that we've deported that are in our country illegally. Here we go.
Can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws, and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
And we are off and running. Yeah. It's just what's happened here.
The woman's question contradicted itself.
Yeah.
What about the ones that don't have a criminal record that are here illegally?
I know. Yeah, the press corps has come alive. For 4 years they've sat there and let that administration get away with lies and anything. Now suddenly they want to ask questions. Like the price of eggs. He's been in for 8 days.
Right.
We got a bird flu going. Calm down.
So I'm kind of open now, Adler. You just want to roll through them in order here?
Did y'all want to do drones?
Oh yeah, what was this? We now know the answer on the drones. Y'all made the point going to the break.
Yeah,
we could not get an answer from the last administration. I mean, even they almost had this. I don't know. They were presenting themselves like, I don't know. But now that the Trump administration has been in for a very short time, we're now told about the drones.
Before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. a statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news. And with that, I will turn it over.
Oh, wow.
Well, now, wait a minute.
Yeah, Greg.
Oh, here we go.
So they say.
Just tell them something.
Yeah.
Well,
Come on, guys.
I
You
mentioned-
got to watch out.
these drones have the lights on them required by the FAA. And
Well,
if
then why
these are-
didn't they just say that
right?
the last time?
Well, the Biden
Well,
administration,
there may be more to it.
they just let it sit.
The Kraken.
I mean, look, let's don't just fall all over ourselves. Well, if the side I like said it, it must be true.
Well, that's true, Greg. We never wanted
that
to
is true.
live that way. That's 100% right.
But at least they are saying
I
something.
got
The last administration stood there with hung in a stare.
We had governors being like, "What is this? Hey, I'm the governor of this state. I don't know what this stuff
Well,
is."
if the answer was that simple,
yeah.
but was it?
What was it?
But was
There we
it?
go.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
they had the lights on these drones that were supposed to be hidden or whatever. Why are they lit up with the lights required by the FAA? That was one of my big main questions.
You did make that point, and I will say this. Now, the point of, and you know this, Greg, this actually stays in the rhythm of Greg. Now, don't think that if something starts out as not a big deal and suddenly with hysteria we turned it into everything under the sun.
Well,
Now,
remember the clowns.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget
Exactly.
the clowns.
Oh, the clown scare of the early 2000s.
We love to be hysterical.
That was the most ridiculous thing, and even local. We dealt with it locally.
Now,
We
why
did.
the Biden administration is? You make a valid point there. Didn't just simply tell us, unless they wanted to create, all this confusion and make it look like that, Trump's dangerous and he's so dangerous that we're being attacked from other worlds. I don't know. Next one is a good one. 2E. So you're going to have Brian Glenn ask Karoline
Leavitt.
Leavitt
Here we go.
to ask her how did Trump seem to handle this Colombia situation so easily? Here we go.
My question is, do you think this latest incident with the president of Colombia is indicative of the global, powerful respect they have for President Trump moving forward, not only to engage in economic diplomacy with these countries, but also world peace?
Absolutely. I'll echo the answer that the president gave on Air Force One last night when he was asked a very similar question by one of your colleagues in the media. This signifies peace through strength is back.
Yes.
And this president will not tolerate illegal immigration into America's interior. And he expects every nation on this planet, again, to cooperate with the repatriation of their citizens who illegally entered into our country and broke America's laws. Won't be tolerated. And as you saw, the Colombian government quickly folded and agreed to all of President Trump's demands. Flights are underway once again.
By the way, Babylon B has had a field day with this one about Colombia too. So did you see the one yesterday where it shows Trump and there's a guy right here? Here's what it says. Trump reminds the Colombian president he wants 2 coats of wax on his limousine.
That's good.
And the Colombian president's out there waxing.
That's funny.
But
Making enemies.
no, but we had countries, and it should concern all of us, sending their worst, emptying mental institutions, emptying prisons, and just really almost weaponizing these people to come in to be a problem for us. And this administration said, you do that to us, we won't tolerate it. Now, do we need to work on getting a smoother legal immigration system? Yes.
Yeah, you talk
Yeah.
to people that's been through it.
Yes.
It's tough.
No. Legal
hassle.
immigration needs to be a smoother process, and we need to work on that. But just because that is true doesn't mean you just have a wide open border and you don't know who's coming in and who
Right.
isn't.
Yeah.
There is a balance on that. And first thing you got to do before you can get to the legal immigration and try to smooth that out is you got to stop the bleeding. So now we do have 2F. Here comes, of course, this is going to happen. But this press secretary, even at 27 years old, she handles herself quite well when she gets a question that is based on emotion but not a lot of facts. Here we go.
President Trump, of course, ran one of the key policy items was that he was going to lower prices, lower the cost of everything from groceries, as he often said. But in many of the cases, it would seem that some of these moves could raise prices for real Americans on everything from low-income heating, that program, child care programs. Will nothing that the president's doing here in terms of the freeze in these programs raise prices on ordinary Americans?
What particular actions are you referring to that
I'm
would?
referring to LHEAP right now. That's the low-income heating program, for example. We can talk about. There's no clarity, so I could refer to a lot of them. We don't know what they are specifically. Can you tell us that LHEAP is not one of those affected?
So you're asking a hypothetical based on programs that you can't even identify.
So the federal freezing of the federal funds for these NGOs, that is not going to, if you get assistance from the government and you're an individual, that will not impact you at all.
They even said that in the press release. Yep. We'll come back. Let's go phone calls next. Find out what's on your mind, America. You can comment on this or whatever you want to. Our number's 888-6-BIG-VOX. And we chat with you, America, right after this.